Hey all, Brent here, and this video is going out a little late, and I'm obviously not at my best because I'm sick. Yeah, I got a cold. So, but I'm going to record this anyway because I got to get the news out to you because you care and you're awesome. So, the news from this week, the Appalicious Week, ending September 27th, 2009. Why Appalicious? Because of the New York Anime Festival that was this past weekend. I was actually there. It was fun. Yoshiyuki Tomino, creator of Gundam, was there, as was Yui Makino, voice actors and such. But lots of announcements. This is going to be a very licensing-heavy show. Viz confirmed they'll be simulcasting InuYasha the final act. Yes, they're finally ending InuYasha. Starting Saturday, October 3rd, on both Hulu and shonensunday.com/anime, though that last site doesn't actually go anywhere yet. It's not set up yet, but Hulu definitely. Viz also announced a ton of new licenses at NIAF. On the manga front, it's got Gente, an Italian slice of life manga, the manga adaptation of Library Wars, Grand Guignol Orchestra, a supernatural mystery story by the author of Angel Sanctuary, and Nice to Meet You Kami-sama, a supernatural romance. They also confirmed they've got Bob to Yokaina Nakamatachi, which will release as Bob and His Funky Crew, Street, and Kotai wa Mitsu to be released as What's the Answer. For novels, they've licensed A Book of Heroes, a fantasy by the gal who wrote Brave Story, Loup Garou, a virtual reality werewolf story by the author of Requiem for the Darkness, also Slum Online, a virtual reality story possibly not involving werewolves, and Next Continent, a sci-fi novel by the author of Lord of the Sands of Time. Meanwhile, Del Rey has licensed Here I Am, Arisa, Yokai Navi Runa, and Rave Master. Here I Am is a slightly emo romantic story. Arisa is about twin sisters with opposite personalities. Yokai Navi Runa is a magical girl story about an orphan. And Rave Master is, come on, it's Rave Master. The anime's been out for a while. Shonen action adventure thing. Tokyo Pop announced Song and Laughter, aka Boku ga Utau Tokimi wa Warau Kara, by the creator of Fruits Basket, and I'm getting that one right this time. This is actually by the woman who wrote Fruits Basket. Also, Ratman, Dot Hack Link, and Seikon no Quasar by the folks behind the Mahime and Mayotome manga. On the boys' love front, you've got Croquis, Blood Honey, Love Not, Cute Demon, Kawaii Akuma, and Love Story on the Isolated Island, Sakoku Ranai. They'll also be publishing, this is kind of interesting, Priest Purgatory, which is an original graphic novel that'll bridge the original Priest manhwa and the upcoming live-action film. So sort of a thing there with Priest Purgatory. Vertical also announced a bunch of new licenses. Pipo Chu is created by Gaijin, but it's in Japanese and published in Japan for Japanese. It follows the story of a hardcore Chicago otaku who gets pulled into a staged Yakuza assassination plot, of course. They also licensed Twin Speaka, about a girl astronaut. The anime has been out for a while, and there's even a live-action version, so quite popular. Meanwhile, Needle, another vertical license, is a partial retelling of the Hal Clement science fiction novel of the same name. It's about a girl living with this sort of symbiotic life form inside her body. Sucks when that happens. We've also got Cheese Sweet Home, a story of a lost kitten. Very, very popular in Japan. Funimation announced a few old-school licenses. They'll be releasing Clamps X, both the TV and the OVA, a TV series and the OVA. Now the Geneon's license has expired. But they're basically just going to be repackaging the Geneon materials and just sort of republishing that. However, they've also licensed Initial D, basically all of the anime, stages 1 through 4 plus the extra stage. It'll be uncut, and they're going to redub it from scratch, so not using the old Tokyo Pop stuff. Another side note, they also announced some more details about the Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood dub. A few folks couldn't come back for the new dub, particularly Aaron Dismuke, or Dismuke whatever, the guy who did Al, because his voice just changed. So Al will be played by Maxie Whitehead, and a few other folks couldn't make it, so Isaac will be played by Brian Massey, and Scar by J. Michael Tatum. So everyone else, though, is same from the original cast. Meanwhile, a few announcements not from NIAF. There's going to be a movie of Hetalia Axis Powers. I hear the fangirls screaming even now. And will be an anime. Big question will be, Hetalia is these little short 5-minute stories. And how they make a full-scale movie out of that remains to be seen. Some news of the weird. William Winkler Productions, who've released such dazzling movies as Frankenstein vs. the Creature from Blood Cove and The Double D Avenger, I'm not making that up, has licensed a slew of classic anime. And by classic, I don't mean like old and musty, I mean Fist of the North Star, Captain Harlock, Gegege no Kitaro, Guy King, Tekka Man, Adventures of Naja. They're going to be releasing them by editing them down into movies. All of original Captain Harlock in 2 movies. No. Why? I don't... Whatever. I just reported. Also news of the weird. Sony has posted streams of Rurouni Kenshin TV on streaming video service Crackle.com. That's Crackle as in like crackling fire. But it's the old Asian English dub. Like it's a dub they put together when they were trying to get it on TV. It never worked out, and then eventually got licensed, and you know the dub we all know of was made. So, like it's by Tosai the Slasher, and like none of the on-screen text is translated. The dub itself, the voice, it's actually not a bad dub. The voice actors are they certainly know what they're doing. The direction has some problems, but certainly by 1999 standards, I mean it's a very solid dub. And certainly, you know, listenable if that's all you want to listen to it. Side note, though, Crackle, I was just looking into it. They also have Voltron on there, as well as the most recent Astro Boy, the 2003 version. So, if you want to watch those, go to Crackle.com. AnimeNation.net, meanwhile, has embedded on their blog an extended trailer for an upcoming movie called First Squad. It's an anime film made by Studio 4C, but it's for a Russian company. So, like, all the characters are Russian, and everyone speaks Russian. The trailer has, I'm not making this up either, Russian teenagers as protagonists. There's a mecha, zombies, Nazis, a floating sword, and I think there's a medieval crusader in there as well. I'm in. Also cool, Madhouse and Japanese TV channel NHK have teamed up to produce basically animated versions of like classic Japanese novels and like 20th century novels. So cool, comparatively recent Japanese literature being made into anime, kind of like the old world masterpiece theater stuff, but not just for kids. Pretty cool, done by Madhouse, and like they're getting well-known anime folks involved. The character designs are done by like Tite Kubo of Bleach, Takeshi Obata of Death Note, people like that. So that's cool. Also cool, Bandai Visual, there's this Gundam Big Expo recently, celebrating 30 years of Gundam. They got like the voice actors from like all the Gundams to come in and do sketches on stage. They reproduced the Giran Zabi death speech, and they did a thing for the 00 cast. And they're going to release a DVD box set of footage from that, like 230 minutes of stuff from that. So you can buy the DVDs. Again, this is all Japanese, but hey, it's cool. Finally, 2 kind of sad notes. Kadokawa Pictures USA, which is the U.S. arm of Kadokawa, kind of shut down this past weekend. They just posted on their site. Their site was just replaced with this message saying, "We're no longer here. We're no longer active." This is just the U.S. arms of Kadokawa. Kadokawa Japan is still alive and healthy. They basically publish all the light novels and manga you care to mention. So that's just kind of sad, and they were fairly important in terms of being sort of the middleman in the industry. So not good. Also, the publisher of Yaoi Press, Yamila Abraham, was arrested last week on 7 counts of mail fraud and drug misbranding. And basically, in addition to Yaoi Press, she also ran this website called PleasureHerbs.com, which offered herbal alternatives to recreational street drugs. And the indictment claims that these were not herbal, like they had actual prescription strength, or at least like real drugs in them. And not like heroin, but like cough syrup type drugs. They had things that could mess you up if you took too much of them. It wasn't just, safe herbs. At least that's what the indictment claims. So it's very sad. We'll remains to be seen what's actually going to happen with that. So that's all the news for this week. And until next week, when hopefully I'll be recovered, I leave you with this quote. It's easy to become carefree. All you have to do is lose your soul.